A gorgeous and meaningful morning to my smarty and brilliant Humanities 1 kiddos. All right? Now, your dear professor has prepared a video lecture and, of course, with a PowerPoint presentation, okay, prepped up exclusively for you. Now, be reminded that I assume and presume you have already read, okay, the scanned materials sent via your email, okay, addresses or your Canvas accounts yesterday. Today, we are going to learn more about the definition of the humanities as a course, and of course, why study humanities? So, the functions and the roles of the humanities or of the arts. All right. So, let's start off with our slides. Okay, here we go. Now, what is humanities and why study humanities? So, these are the two topics we are going to discuss at this very moment. Let's start off with the origin of the word humanities. So, it has its Latin origin. It means humanus, okay? So, if you are referring to humanus, it is a branch of knowledge that, or which deals rather, how humans have expressed themselves using the arts or the art forms like your literature, sculpture, painting, okay, your dance, music, cinema, so on and so forth, throughout the test of times. So I'm quoting the words of Dr. Daniela Giagan. Now let's move on to the next slide. So according to Van de Bogart, 1970, so humanities would mean human, cultured, refined. So when we learn or when we study humanities, eventually we become schooled, we become cultivated, we become sensitive, responsive, open-minded to any uh, possibilities for that matter. All right. So we become eclectic in a way that we try to embrace, okay, changes around us, and that would make us better citizens of our country. Now, according to Estola's 1995, humanities would emphasize, okay, or stress the dignity or integrity of man and recognize creative expression. So it says more of our artistic side, our innovative nature. We evolve. Nothing is permanent except change. Therefore, we change for the betterment. So we try to come up with, different ideas, concepts, so on and so forth. So that's how intriguing, right? The evolution of man with regards to art forms. Now let's proceed with the next slide. Well, of course, humanities can be considered as records of man's experiences, his values, his sentiments, his ideals, and his goals. So, what are we for, by the way? Why do we live? Why do we exist? So, what are we here on this world? So, we have to learn. We have to know ourselves first, and then without our knowledge, without knowing at all that the five senses we do possess have to be made use, okay, have to be used to our advantage. So your sense of touch, sense of hearing, sense of listening, sense of tasting, so on and so forth. Now, according to Zurweta, 1994, so humanities can be regarded as ultimately the expression of man's feelings and thoughts. Now, you see, without humanities, of course, our culture will be boring. Our language will be drab. Okay, therefore there got to be color. There got to be texture. Okay, there got to be shade, hues. All right, these are the things so we learn from humanities. Another one. Why do we have to study humanities? So here come the function and the role of humanities. Now, you can see here it helps us recognize basic values and principles such as beauty, truth, love, and faith. So these are the things that we have to be reminded of by studying humanities. Therefore, we have to be cognizant of what's happening around us. Then it develops or it improves our ability for reasoning and valuing or embracing our cultural heritage for that matter. So culture and language converge each other with the help of the arts or humanities. Next slide, please. Of course, it tries to develops our understanding across the barriers of race, class, gender, or ethnicity. The reason why we have globalization, of course, is brought about by language, but without our knowing, it's also brought about by our culture, by our art forms, okay? Now, you can make use as a classic example the BTS of South Korea. So nowadays, they are the it, the thing, okay, the big thing, okay. They matter. The BTS group matters a lot to us, of course, especially to the millennials or Generation Z. So that's how impactful and music is to people like us. Now, number four, of course, it introduces it brings okay to the public the idea that people have never met or places they have never been to or ideas that never crossed their minds. So humanities, of course, as a course or a subject, uh, gives us the benefit. Okay, it really helps us a lot when we do write, when we do speak, or when we do listen, or when we do read. We are really guided or informed by the convention of humanities. Now, the last but not least, to appraise, okay, meaning to say we have to really make use, okay, or appreciate the value of creativity. So we always have this artistic side, the innovative nature. As human beings, we all have the potentials, the raw materials, and the raw talents for everything that is possible, making impossible possible. So I think that would be it for today. And I really appreciate your time and space. And I know that this is going to be one hell of a ride, a very meaningful experience, a journey for you and me. It's not yet the end. This is just the beginning of the end at the end of the beginning. Thank you for your time and space. Take good care.